Here's a chilling fact to kick things off. Your cell phone is teeming with more bacteria than a toilet seat. A startling revelation, isn't it? But it's not just your beloved smartphone that's a hotbed for germs. The everyday objects we seldom give a second thought are often rife with bacteria. Take for instance the innocuous kitchen sponge. You might think it's a tool of cleanliness, diligently scrubbing away the dirt and grime from your dishes. However, it's actually one of the germiest objects in your home, harboring a staggering variety of bacteria in its moist, porous surface. Not far behind is the cutting board. Whether you're chopping vegetables or slicing meat, you're providing a rich banquet for bacteria to thrive. Even after a thorough wash, microscopic grooves from your knife can still house these unwelcome guests. Moving on to personal items. Have you ever thought about the number of bacteria camping out on your toothbrush? Each time you brush, you're not just removing food particles and plaque, but also adding a whole new population of bacteria to the bristles. And let's not forget about your makeup brushes. They can become a playground for bacteria, especially if they're not cleaned regularly. The unsettling truth is these bacteria-laden objects are a part of our day-to-day lives. But don't panic, not all bacteria are harmful. Many of them are essential for our health and well-being. Nevertheless, it's a good reminder to wash and disinfect these objects regularly, and replace them when necessary. As for your cell phone, a quick daily wipe with an alcohol-based cleaner can go a long way in keeping those pesky germs at bay. After all, who wouldn't want their personal belongings to be as clean and germ-free as possible? So the next time you reach for your phone, you might want to think twice. If you think you're safe outdoors, think again. Nature has its fair share of creepy facts. Let's start with the haunting truth of carnivorous plants. Yes, you heard it right, plants that feed on living beings. Picture a Venus flytrap, its jaw-like leaves closing in on an unsuspecting insect. It's not a scene from a horror movie, it's happening in a garden near you. These plants have evolved to derive some or most of their nutrients from trapping and consuming animals or protozoans. Just think about that the next time you're tending to your roses. Now, let's turn our attention to the unsettling world of fungi. You might love your mushrooms on a pizza, but did you know there are fungi that feast on flesh? Meet the Ophiocordyceps, a type of parasitic fungus that infects insects and other arthropods. Once inside a host, the fungus takes over its brain, compelling it to climb to a high point. The host eventually dies and the fungus grows out of its body, releasing spores to infect others. It's nature's very own zombie apocalypse. And if that doesn't make your skin crawl, allow me to bring you closer to a chilling reality. Spiders. They're the stuff of nightmares for many, but did you know that you're never more than 3 feet away from a spider? That's right, these 8-legged creatures are everywhere. In your house, your garden, your office, even your car. They're always lurking in the shadows, unseen and often unnoticed. Nature, it seems, has a dark side that is both fascinating and terrifying. It reminds us that we live in a world full of wonders and horrors, often hidden in plain sight. So the next time you're out for a stroll in the park or simply enjoying your backyard, remember, there's more to nature than meets the eye. Feeling itchy yet? The air we breathe isn't as clean as you think. It's an unsettling fact that the very life force we depend on, the air around us, is riddled with unseen dangers. Just imagine, every breath you take, every inhale and exhale, is teeming with invisible foes. The most obvious culprits are pollutants. These are the remnants of human activity, the exhaust fumes from cars, the smoke belching from factories, the dust thrown up by construction. These pollutants float unseen in the air, tiny particles that can lodge in our lungs, causing damage over time. We're not just talking about urban environments either. Even in the most remote, cleanest parts of the world, pollution can be carried by the wind, infiltrating the air we breathe. But let's take it a step further. Beyond the pollutants, there's a whole microscopic world in every breath. Bacteria, viruses, fungal spores, they're all floating around in the air. And here's a chilling fact. Every cubic meter of air contains around 25 million particles. That's the same number of people in Australia, all squished into a space the size of a fridge. Now most of these particles are harmless. They're just part of the natural world, the ebb and flow of life around us. But some are not so benign. Pathogens, disease-causing organisms, they're in the air too. Just think about that the next time you're in a crowded place, every cough, every sneeze, launching these invisible invaders into the air. It's a creepy thought, isn't it? The air around us, so vital, so essential, yet filled with potential dangers. But don't let it keep you up at night. After all, our bodies have evolved to deal with these airborne threats. We have mechanisms in place, natural defenses that filter out most of these particles, but it's a reminder that the world is more complex. more mysterious than we often realize. So the next time you take a deep breath, think about what you're breathing in: the life-giving oxygen, the human-made pollutants, the microscopic menagerie. Take a deep breath, if you dare. Our own bodies harbor some deeply unsettling facts. Did you know that within the confines of our own mouths, there lives a bustling metropolis of bacteria? Yes, indeed. It's estimated that over 700 different types of bacteria make a home in our oral cavity. And it doesn't stop there. These tiny organisms aren't merely tenants, they're active citizens, interacting and influencing the overall health of our mouth. Some of these microscopic residents are beneficial, aiding in digestion and protecting against harmful invaders. However, others are less friendly, contributing to conditions like tooth decay and gum disease. As we move on from the mouth, let's delve into another eerie fact about our bodies: the amount of dead skin we shed. Over the course of a year, an average person sheds about 8 pounds of skin. Now that might not sound like a lot, but consider this: the dust that accumulates in your home, a significant portion of that is your own dead skin. If that didn't give you the shivers, let's move on to our belly buttons. That tiny, innocuous-looking depression on your abdomen is actually a hub of mystery. Researchers have discovered that belly buttons can harbor over 67 different types of bacteria. Some of these bacteria are so rare they've only been found in a handful of people across the globe. So the next time you look at your body, remember the bustling bacterial cities in your mouth, the constant cycle of death and renewal on your skin, and the microbial jungle in your belly button. You're not just a human, you're an entire ecosystem, a walking, talking habitat for millions of life forms. And you thought the human body was a marvel of nature. It is, but not always in the ways we like to think about. If you think Earth has its share of creepy facts, wait until you hear about space. Let's dive into the unimaginable depths of the cosmos, where silence is the only soundtrack. Imagine, if you will, a place so quiet that you could hear a pin drop from a billion miles away. In space, there's no air to carry sound waves, so it's eerily silent. You're enveloped in a blanket of quiet that's so profound it's almost tangible. Now consider the vacuum of space. It's not just empty, it's a near-perfect void that stretches on for billions of light years. This isn't just your common emptiness. This is an abyss so vast that it's beyond human comprehension. Here, there's no up or down, no left or right, just endless, unfathomable nothingness. It's like being alone in an ocean of black without a single point of reference. But perhaps the most terrifying aspect of space are black holes. These are regions of space-time where gravity is so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape their pull. Black holes are like cosmic vacuum cleaners devouring everything that ventures too close. And what happens inside a black hole? Well, that's a mystery. Some theories suggest they could lead to other universes or dimensions. Others say they crush and obliterate everything they consume. Either way, it's a one-way trip. Once you're in, there's no coming back. And then there's the concept of time in space. Time, as we understand it, doesn't exist in the same way. Near a black hole, time can slow down, a phenomenon known as time dilation. This means that time passes slower for you than for someone far away from the black hole. So while you're being sucked into a black hole, someone watching from a safe distance would see you falling in slow motion, taking an eternity to disappear. As it turns out, space isn't just the final frontier, it's also the creepiest.